Hi guys, PJ here, back with what I believe to be the most difficult dungeon in Destiny 2. Yes, this is Duality Dungeon. In all honesty, I really wouldn't recommend you try and solo this one. Go in with your fire team, a bit of experience preferable, and yeah, bit of knowledge before you go in, because there's a lot of jumping puzzles, there's a lot of splitting you up from your fire team. You have to do things sort of solo on your own. Some of the sections have so many ads in them, you're going to probably want somebody on ad clearing all the time. It's quite a complicated little dungeon that they've done. It's a good dungeon. It's certainly not one of my favourites because it is pretty tricky, this particular one. But, you know, if you're running for all the dungeons and you want to do them or you want the loot from it, it's a must. First things first, reoccurring themes, just like with all the others. This one has bells. Now, you've just seen me jump into the start of the dungeon, which, by the way, you will need Witch Queen Deluxe or the dungeon key for, I think it's 2,000. So you're going to have one of those two to be able to play this dungeon. These are bells that we're shooting. First one that you saw there, you shoot through the grate. Second one, when you shoot it, it moves you into the alternate dimension. Okay, so it's all red and evil looking, etc, etc. Now, switching between the two dimensions is necessary for progress through the dungeon. When you get to certain areas like this, it's a case of clear the ads and then make your way all the way across the room doing these little jumping puzzles. I say puzzles, they're not really a puzzle, but it is sort of figuring out where you've got to go, what ledges you've got to jump on, etc. Some of them are quite high. The snipers can be a pain in the neck, so I would highly recommend running a secondary sniper rifle rather than filling the slot with something else for this particular dungeon. So something that can one-shot a sniper, you know, with a headshot or whatever, is absolutely perfect. It doesn't have to be anything glamorous, but being able to take them out in one hit very quickly is definitely beneficial. Now, the other problem, well, not problem, but the other issue with this dungeon is, like I say, you'll be on your own an awful lot doing various things, because again, it has damage phases for the bosses, just like the previous dungeons that you've seen. But getting to those damaged phases, because, well, the name of the dungeon is Duality, so it's dual as in dual realms, dual settings. So you've got the normal realm that you're seeing right now, you know, the normal sort of layer, and then you've got the alternate evilly red layer, which, yeah, you're gonna have to split up and do that. There's also a lot of timed events on this dungeon, so you'll be on countdown timers, and sometimes you'll be on double countdown timers. So not only will you have one timer counting down, you'll pick up some orbs and bits and bobs later on, especially at your first boss, and you'll have a second countdown timer to keep your eye on. If either of those hits zero, you guessed it, you're gonna die. You're gonna, you know, have to start the encounter again, sort of thing, for that section. Right, but back to where we currently are. If you've been watching the footage there, we're basically working our way up to the very top so we can get as high as possible in this really, really high room. I mean, this room, when you first go into it, you don't think you realise how high it is. It's got a lot of stages. You're aiming to get to this platform. When you get to this platform, you can look through the opposite window, and there's a bell. Shoot the bell, and you appear in the alternate nice red evil side of things. I'm sure there's a proper name to it, but for me it's red, it's evil, and that's what it looks like. Clear all the ads, same sort of thing. Make your way across all these really high platforms. If you do fall off, yes, you know, you're going to die. It's a long way down, sort of thing. But again, go into the bells. Now, there is one other thing to consider with some of these bells, and that is that some of them have a circle round them, and you whole fire team has got to stand in that circle. If you don't, you're dead. So if one of you shoots the bell and the rest of the fire team are outside the bell circle, yeah, you're dead. So there's a bit of a mechanic to each section. Some bells are different. Some bells you shoot on your own, some you won't, etc, etc. So this bell here, you've got this little jump at the end of this realm. See the circle around it? Yeah, I've got to wait for my fire team to actually get in here before I can shoot this bell. There, shoot the bell, flip to the normal dimension, and more ads. Kill all the ads off, make your way across the room, and eventually, when you've killed them all and got rid of everything, make sure to check out for any snipers. They can be really pesky high up on the sides. And also, if you're, you know, sort of looking for the bells, you might be able to see them, but not get to them. So you have to shoot them through the grates, like that one I've just shown you. When you get to this section, this is I can only call this a leap of faith. Okay, guys, I mean, it's a long way down. And, you know, you might think, am I going to make this? But yeah, you are. So basically, kill everything off, stand in the middle of the large beam in the middle of the room, look down, and you will see a very thin beam. You guessed it, you've got to fall down and jump onto that beam. It's not actually that difficult at all, apart from the fact when you hit the beam, everything spawns. Loads of ads spawn, loads of stuff spawns, and you could well die. In fact, I died here, so you know you are going to possibly die. You can't really prep from above and shoot them from above because they're not there, they haven't spawned. You have to land. So the idea with this one, the best way we found to do this is for one of the fire team to stay up top, sniping from above, or you know, using a rocket launcher, etc. Kill everything. If the person below dies, they then jump down and resurrect them. Okay, looking to the left, there's an open sort of area, an open sort of duct, if you like. Jump across, and basically there's some pipes in the way. It's a tricky little jump for some. You know, I personally don't struggle with it, but some might. So you basically jump round the pipes, land on the platform, and you guessed it, there's your bell. If you do get stuck with this little jump, there's some little triangles on the left-hand side. There is a little bit of a ledge. You can actually sort of jump and hang on to one of those. You've got to be a bit careful because they are very thin, and then jump back again. Normally it's easy to jump round. Again, there's a circle around the bell. Wait for your fire team, get in there, shoot the bell, and you go back to the normal realm. This section's pretty straightforward. It's basically a lot of falling. So there's like ledges to jump to if you wish, or you can just drop all the way down and then obviously float a little bit. So make your way along it, and there's only one way. It's like a corridor basically. You can't get this wrong, and you're going to come out again in another large hall. Now this hall's got a lot of ads in it. Okay, I wouldn't recommend you just run out into the middle of it because the sniper's right at the back. There's a lot of other bits and bobs in there, yellow bars. Stay in the mouth of the area because it is a tongue after all. A bit weird, but still. And kill everything. I mean, it's a callous area, isn't it? So he likes his weird ordnance. Very weird. But kill everything off so you've got nothing left. And that centre four-post area will then open up. So there's basically a grate. The floor opens up under the centre four-post area. You fall down. This is your first encounter, your first boss encounter, so you can rally the flag, etc. I'm not going to lie to you, this is hard in my opinion. Okay, like I've said to you on previous Destiny videos, you know, we don't play this 24 hours a day. We play it a lot, but we're not like some that live the game. Okay, so we haven't got the perfect god rolls, etc. We found this pretty hard. Anyway, the idea is, as you've just seen there were some bits and bobs such as a cup, a dog, etc. There's 4 symbols in the corners of the room. So what your fire team does is go to the bell, shoot the bell, and then a door will open. There's a sequence for the doors, so you will end up learning it because you'll probably die a few times, but that's good because you'll learn the sequence of the doors. Doors will open when you're in this realm. Please note the nightmare collapsing countdown timer on the left-hand side. Very, very important. If it hits 0, you're dead. You're wiped. Okay, you don't matter how far through it is, you are. Go in these doors, kill the yellow bar scion. He will drop the standard essence. This one I've got is the chalice, the cup. Yeah. And this cup needs to go to the matching location in the normal realm, so the non-evil realm. You can't kill the boss, ignore him, but you have got to kill the bell keepers. Very important. We split up there so that basically my fire team member there could go and kill the bell keepers. They're the yellow bar jobbies. Obviously he died trying to do that, so I've had to come in and sort that out as well. But normally you would split up. One goes and gets the standard, and one goes and kills the bell keepers. Get back before it hits 0, shoot the bell. The timing on that one was pretty damn near. I think we had like 1 or 2 seconds left. So there's the chalice, the cup. We'll put the standard down on it. There we go. That one's done. There's 4 of these to repeat. Okay, so basically you do all 4, but remember I said you had to split up? Yeah, you do. So there is a point when you put your cup down and the door's opened, you run into the room in the normal location. So this isn't the evil location, this is normal reality. You notice I've ran to the back of the room after that door opened after putting the cup down. There's a reason. I think it's 6 of these yellow bosses come in, mini bosses, vision of something or other they're called. And you've got to kill them well, pretty much solo, to be honest with you, because your fire team out there is dealing with everything else, including the main boss. Dispatch these as fast as possible. They aren't difficult, believe it or not, even though they've got a big yellow bar, they're not that hard to kill at all. So kill them all off and pick up the red orbs at the drop on the floor. Now you've got another countdown. So you've got Nightmare collapsing and Unstable Essence counting down. Now the unstable essences, the red balls, they disappear really quickly, so you've got to shoot them and pick them up quick. When you've picked them up quick and you haven't wiped, like I've just shown you, you're on the damage phase. Okay, you need your whole fire team, hitting him. Gets to about 10 seconds of your nightmare collapsing, get out, get to the bell, shoot the bell, escape, rinse and repeat. Now the fastest way to do this, which I'm going to show you now, is actually if you use swords as your heavy. Rocket launchers and stuff take a while, you've got to reload them after each shot, etc. Sword, really quick. So if your whole fire team is on swords at this point, while you're busy dispatching these and collecting the little orbs at the drop, your fire team can be waiting at the main boss clearing the room. Okay, so you're then going to go around and join them. If you're all running swords, decent swords, it is possible to one phase this boss. The particular run that you're now looking at with my other fire team, this took 2 phases for us to kill the boss, and we were all running swords, and we were all coordinated very well. So I get out of the room, he's already dead. Brilliant. That opens up your first chest. Try not to fall down the hole on your way to the chest, because it's a bit of a sod to get back up again if you do. But anyway, there's your first drop. This dungeon does have its own loot, so very important that. Like I say, it is one of the harder dungeons, so having its own loot, it's sort of worthwhile. The grenade launcher that's just dropped for me there, that is actually a pretty good grenade launcher. So, it's worth doing it. It's just like I say, I personally think this is quite a hard one. Right, this next section, you can't really get it wrong. It is just a case of following the tunnels, okay? You can't get lost. There's no wrong way or right way. It's very straightforward. And eventually, after you've gone through all the pipeworks and these really large, air conditioning ducts or whatever they are, service tunnels, you will come to this section. Now, there is 2 ways of doing this, and I'm going to show you the fast way. There's the proper way and there's the fast way. This is the fast way. The fast way, you basically jump on a little ledge to the right and then you double jump up onto the big ledge. After landing on the ledge, I do highly recommend you pop the snipers that are dotted around. You've got a bit more parkour to do, you've got to jump across to the other side. Now the snipers, obviously if they hit you mid-flight, it can be a bit of a pain, so the amount of time it takes, just pop them, get them out of the way. Land on the middle post, and it's a pretty big platform, you're hard pushed to miss it sort of thing. And if you haven't popped everything over the other side, just watch the shield bearing ones don't push you back off when you land. So you'll notice there, look, there's one with the shield, we've left him. You can jump right over his head if you want, but he is still shooting you, and it is obviously sort of bothering your jump a little bit. So we could get rid of him before we land. Do not go all the way down if you can help it, because otherwise you're going to jump all the way back up again. You just need to get to this opening, which is quite high up. You've got to stay high up. If you can do that, all the better. This big slide, okay, when you get to the bottom, jump, because boom, if you get it wrong like I just did, it can kill you completely. I was very lucky there. But anyway, moving on to, well, what is effectively going to be your next encounter after your little parkour there. I wouldn't say that was a puzzle, it was just a bit of jumping around. Make your way along. Again, you can't get it the wrong way. There's not multiple passages. There's only one way to do this to get to the destination. So just follow it through until you get to what I call the leap of faith. Now, this is a really, really long jump. You've got to get it just right to manage it. You'll either hit the roof or you'll fall short, and it's a small platform to land on. So just be aware, you might well fail that the first time. I certainly did. Don't worry about it. Just try again, because you respawn back at the top. There's a couple of little collectibles to get. I don't know if you're doing triumphs and stuff at this point. I'm not going to point them all out, because, we were only collecting a few left over that one of us needed. Right over there, you will see a little square opening. In that little square opening is one of them. In fact, I'll show you on a scope, see what we're looking at. There it is. If they just move out of the way quickly. I don't know if you can see the collectible. There's one there, and I'm going to show you another one a little bit later on as well. So if you're doing your triumphs and you're collecting everything from this dungeon, there's one of the hidden ones, looks spinning around. Yeah. Anyway, sort of point that out. Let's move on. So we're going to stay on the platform that I'm on. I didn't need that collectible, luckily, so I hadn't got to go back for it. We're going to go down this little air shaft, and again follow it all the way through to the end. Following the tunnel, you will emerge into this large room with, well, statues all the way around it. You'll notice they've all got like an axe and a sword in the hand. The idea is to get the swords of each statue, sorry, the axe of each statue pointing towards the centre. On the rear of all these is a button. That plaque we've just walked past is where the button is, but it only spawns in the alternate dimension, you know, the red area, the evil type looking area. So what you've got to do is figure out how many turns each one moves. So they're going to move 90 degrees. In other words, a quarter of a turn for each button press. Okay, doesn't matter what order you do them in. So in other words, if you've got one completely facing the wrong way, you're going to have to hit it like 3 times to get it all the way around. Yeah, or 4 times if it's literally the wrong way. So that will do a full circle. 4 times will do a full circle, 3 times will turn it round, 1, 2, 3, you get the gist. Okay, so you're in the alternate dimension because there's the bell, you've shot it, etc. And what it's best to do is split your fire team up. So take a look where they're all pointing, because they point differently in the alternate dimension to the normal dimension, the normal realm. So they're not in the same place, yeah? So in other words, the rotation on each statue is different. Anyway, I digress. Here's another little collectible if you're doing your triumphs. Just sort of quickly point that one out, seal memory for you. Back to the statues. So all of them have to point the same way. The best thing to do is split your team up, have a look where they are in the alternate dimension. Basically, the buttons are available in this dimension, so you can turn them. So if we look, that one was facing backwards. In fact, it's the only one. We've done the rest, so we've got one wrong at this point. That one's facing completely the wrong way, and what we need to do, somebody needs to go over there and press the button twice. So in other words, it'll turn once to the side, and then it'll turn again to point at the centre, while somebody else goes and shoots the bell so that we can spin it round. I'll just show you the actual movement of it in a sec. So there's the button, activate. Bearing in mind, it will be pointing in a different direction in this dimension. Okay, so we've done it twice. It's now pointing, theoretically, the right way. This can be a bit of a mind teaser if you've never done it before, so you've got to try and remember each one. That's why I say split up, so you only have to remember one at a time. There we go, they're all pointing the right way. Apart from that one, we've missed another one. So let's go back over to that one again. Turn it round. You'll notice in this dimension it's actually pointing the correct way. Yeah, bit of a bugger, but you get the gist anyway, I'm sure. When you finally turn them all round and got them the right way, the underneath section of this center thing will open for you to drop through. But before you guys do that, there is a secret chest in this room, so that's obviously worthwhile going and getting. It takes no combat, it's very easy. So around the room, around the edge, there's a ledge and there's basically doors. A lot of them are closed. One of them's fully opened where you jumped in, and another one, this one, is sort of jammed. It's halfway open. So if you jump onto this statue and then jump across to this door, like I say, it's the one that's sort of wedged, broken. The chest is just behind it, and you know, that's your bonus box, bonus loot box. Lingering Dread there I got from that one, so well worthwhile going to it. That weapon's not actually that bad as a grenade launcher, by the way. And then we're free to fall down a very, very long way into the next room. Okay, upon finishing your landing and entering this room, you are presented with a sort of round room with symbols on them. You know, the normal sun, dog, cup, etc., etc. Now, there's going to be 2 sort of holograms showing in the middle that you've got to find. So, for example, there's sun. So you need to go and find, around the edge of the room, the picture of sun. Okay, they're normally diagonally opposite, so you can sort of work your way from that. Like I say, the room is sort of round. I'm standing at the moment behind the chalice one, the cup one, but there's the sun. Look, you can see the hologram from it, and there'll be another hologram just over there as well. And what you're going to do is split your fire team up. So one person is going to go to the corresponding hologram wall, yeah, and stand behind that wall. So, for example, cup clearly is the hologram here. I'm standing at cup. When you do, somebody else shoots the bell, the third person shoots the bell, and then both of you go off to your corresponding hologram rooms in the alternate dimension. In this room is some bad guys, of course, and at the back there you've got a Colossus to get rid of. He's normally pretty quick to get rid of. Some normal stuff as well. Once you've done that, and this is pretty much a reoccurring theme for most of fights, you're going to have a Scion to kill. Now the Scion will turn up. Wait for him very quickly there. Bit slow. Colossus rather, not a Scion, guys. Got that wrong, thinking of the next encounter. Anyway, kill it. Pick up the standard, just like you've done before, and take it back to the main room. So you're going to basically go back to your hologram with this, the hologram that matches it. So I've picked up the chalice, the cup, and I'm running over diagonally to the cup of it after we've shot the bell. So we have to obviously take it back to the normal realm. We've still got the essence chalice there, and we're going to plonk it on the chalice hologram. There we go. All sounds pretty simple, but you've got to do it a few times. It's pretty busy. Obviously, you can't kill the boss until you've sort of done them all. So that's why you split into two. You get two done at the same time, rinse and repeat, etc., etc. And eventually, you'll get this boss killed and be able to move on. Just a quick note on the damage phase. It's ideal if you're going to run a warlock, you can put yourself a well down. If you've got a secondary warlock, you probably put a health well down at the same location. Just makes it a lot easier because, as you can see, it's rather busy. What you're going to use your DPS with? Well, supers are good, obviously. Swords are still good because of the speed you can hammer him out. Like I say, reloading and stuff. This is close quarters combat. I'm sure you're all too, aware if you fire a rocket launcher at close range and it hits something, you're going to kill yourself. So not ideal for grenade launchers, rocket launchers, etc. I would probably go with a sword for this section as well. But anyway, you're going to have to do this, like I say, a couple of times. You're going to have to go with the different pictures and sort of do it a couple of times. I mean, we've now got axes up and sun up, look. So, until he's dead, basically, and then you're free to move. When you've killed this guy, it's reoccurring theme time again, because the centre of the room will open. You'll hear some mechanical cogs happening, and the middle section of the floor rotates and opens that you can see there. And yep, you've got to basically jump down it again. It's a reoccurring thing. A lot of these dungeons have the same thing over and over again in sort of tweaks to it. And we're going to go down there. As you can see, there's a ledge with your next chest on. So obviously, go and grab your goodies before continuing your way. And once again, you can't go the wrong way once you go down. You're basically just going to follow it through until you get to your next section. In fact, the only thing I am going to point out to you on this section is the location of the bell. Like I say, you can't get it wrong. It only goes one way. So when you've reached this sort of weird draped area, if you go to the end of the room with the door in front of you, which is pretty obvious, but it's shut, look left, there's your bell, shoot your bell, and you can then carry on after defeating a couple of bad guys. Nothing major here, guys, no big deal. You can run sort of back again and find your bearings and carry on with everything. As you can see, there's a big opening in the wall now, so you're quite easily going to just jump without making a mistake and falling off, might I add. And what you're aiming for is an opening on the right-hand side, one of the sort of triangular-ish looking vents. It's just to gain the height, you've got to sort of hop backwards and forwards to be able to get high enough. It is on the wall that I'm nearest to currently. So if we go to the middle of this beam, look across, there you go, you can see it. Go in there and, once again, work your way through everything. You can't get lost, because the bell is right in front of you. So there's no deviating around on this one, thank God. You can just run straight up to the bell, pop it, and then you're back in the normal dimension. There's a small tunnel to the right. Keep going, following this through until you reach the very end. And on to more bells. Yep, shooting through a window again, reoccurring theme. Shoot the bell, go to the alternate dimension, run across the evilly red platform thing, and basically shoot another bell. If you're in a fire team, try not to jump too quickly because you could bounce off each other on landing. We've done that a few times. Just sort of pace yourselves a little bit. Shoot the bell, go back to normal reality, look up, and there's a sort of corridor network for you to sort of maneuver through. Once you reach the end of this little section, you've killed off some bad guys that are over there, you're going to have a bit of a jumping puzzle. So right hand wall, it's pretty obvious where you've got to land, but if you're a bit floaty, if you've got your settings for your warlock on floaty, you can miss them, or you can hit something sticking out and fall off, usual scenario, but not too bad. It's fairly obvious where to go. And once again, there is actually a collectible here if you're doing the tryouts. Mentioned it earlier on. You know, like I say, we were looking for sort of 2 or 3 for one person, and so we sort of stopped at most of them to have a quick look. That's why I'm pointing them out. You might not know where they are, but anyway, that's another video, another time, showing you where all the tryout location things are. But basically, it's up above the door that you go in, and so you hop onto this little pipe or standard, whatever it is, and then sort of jump round and up onto the platform that you've just seen. My fire teammate there, she's already gone in and checked so she's got that one, but it's there. You just saw it. I didn't make it because my fire team was stood in the way. What I mentioned earlier on, yeah. Make sure they're not there. Anyway, it's in that little doorway. Moving on, we're going to go carrying on. Jump, jump, jump. There we go. Long leaps of faith in this particular dungeon until you get to, well, the end encounter with a really big bell and a really big, basically like ringer. Yeah, so there's a log suspended on chains and everything to ring that bell. This encounter is very, very similar to the last encounter. 4 symbols above 4 closed doors. Now, what's going to happen here is your room's going to fill up with bad guys and it can get pretty damn hectic. So you're going to be looking at 2 of you dealing with the symbols, and the other person is going to be in charge of clearing the room with a bit of help from the rest of your fire team and also looking after the bell. So clear the room, get rid of everything. There is some snipers in the distance. I don't know if you want to pop those. Personally, I do. They're quite annoying. But there is more than one bell, okay, they're dotted around the room. Now, the bells are important. You've got to remember this for the damage phase, because you want to try and get the boss in those bell areas when you get to your damage phase, if possible. Otherwise, you're going to do really crap damage. You're going to do a lot of damage if he's in the bell area. So remember that. Anyway, looking across the other side of the room is your holograms of what you need to do, whether it's going to be dog or cup, you know, sun, etc., etc., all the axes. So if you look across, again, it's always diagonally across. Over there, at the moment, is 2 holograms in the corner. I think one of them was axe and the other one was probably dog, seeing as I'm running to dog. So I did this over the course of a few of these dungeon runs, so yeah, bear with me. So you and the other person that's doing the holograms stand on this platform, okay? The third person goes to the bell and basically shoots the bell. So they're on the same side as us, look, shooting the bell. The scion spawns. Kill the scion straight away. Pick up their standard. Yeah, so same as before, same sort of scenario. You're in the alternate reality right now. We're coming back to the middle here, clearing a few ads, etc. All sort of group up in the right place. So you'll notice that bell, for example, was missing. So it's just like a frame, no bell there. That's because you've got to use the bell that you used to get in the room. So don't get spun around and disorientated. You must use the same bell that you went with on the same side. Okay, there we go. We're back in. We've still got our standards. I've got the War Beast dog, let's face it. And I'm taking it to the War Beast, yeah, hologram. Pop it down. You'll notice there one of the columns moved. So there's like 4 locks and they're holding the large log that rings the bell in place. That basically locks to stop that from moving. So it's quite a good little mechanic. You know, you can see that swings and hits the big bell. So rinse and repeat, do it for all 4, might take you a couple of goes, but when you've done that, you're ready for the boss. But quick note, person in the centre of the room, don't forget to kill the bell keepers. Yeah, well, you can help them if you're doing the holograms, but bell keepers have got to be killed off, otherwise obviously you're going to fail it, you're not going to be able to ring the bell, you're going to run out of time, etc. Very important. Anyway, boss phase, guys. We notice we're at the bell, we're in the circle of the bell. That's where you're going to do your DPS. If you're out of this, your DPS is going to be absolutely shocking, so you're going to take forever. But follow him. He will start running to other bells. You can see which direction he's going. Follow him to that bell, stand in that circle and do your DPS. Just hit him with as much as you possibly can. Like I say, warlocks, if you've got health and power wells, use them. Swords, still good because you're very near him. You know, you're near enough. Look, he's near the circle there. So one of us is hitting with a sword. I'm using a rocket launcher, etc. And don't forget to basically follow him. He is going to run You can still damage him while he's running, but you do need to follow him to the bells to get the most impact done. This is probably going to take you, at least a couple, and be aware he kicks back and knocks you off the back of the map there. So he did 2 of us there, shot 2 of us off the back of the map. If he'd have done all 3, that would have been a wipe. So you've got to be careful of that one. If you're behind the bell using it for cover, he did it again there, look, tries to knock you off. Rinse and repeat until you've got him killed off. On this particular run, none of us were lucky enough to get the exotic. There is a chance that you're going to get this dungeon exotic, but we didn't get it. We got some reasonable legendary stuff from this, but as I'm sure you know by now, if you're a Destiny player, it's all to do with RNG. It's random. You don't know what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, etc. But there you go, pretty difficult dungeon, guys. Hopefully this was helpful to you. It's 2023, so it's up to date. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.